Well, CTV's Paul Hollingsworth is in Boston and joins me now. Paul, good morning. Was likely a late night for you last night. Talk to us about the reactions in Boston when that winning goal came.
It was, good morning to you as well. It was, to juxtapose what happened post-game, you have to kind of juxtapose it to what happened pre-game. This is Boston Garden behind us here, and there were probably 17, 18, 19,000 American fans, many of them wearing USA jerseys, shouting USA, USA, singing the Star-Spangled Banner, getting whipped up in this patriotic pre-game vibe with several thousand Canadian fans trying to make some noise, but not really succeeding over the cacophony of the American fans. Fast forward post-game, about 3 hours later, a very quiet, subdued American crowd leaving the rink, and I would say 2, 3, maybe 4,000 Canadian fans, the great majority wearing Canada jerseys, singing "O Canada," just having a blast in the streets of Boston. So a real fun vibe to be a part of, a real fun atmosphere to experience. And, you know, to people who don't know Canadians, it might sound like hyperbole to say hockey unifies us as a country, but there were so many things going on this week. The stuff with President Trump, the 51st state stuff. We experienced that in the street corner here with some fans chirping us about Canada. I saw T-shirts with disparaging messages about Canada written on the T-shirts. Some of it wasn't nice. Some people were lovely to deal with. There was a bit of a mix, I'll give them that. But to go through all that this week and all those moments and all that emotion and all the social media stuff, and to walk out of that rink and watch Canada win that game, that's something worth remembering. It was neat to be there for it, and it's one of those moments 30 years from now when you look back on your career, you'll say, hey, that was a cool moment, cool for our country, cool to see, and some pretty special highlights for the memory bank.
And a win like this, Paul, would be a boost for national pride at the best of times, but it means so much more right now, doesn't it?
It really does. I spoke, and it's a really good question. I spoke to a fan yesterday. He was from PEI. I spoke to a bunch of fans yesterday, and I picked up similar themes and similar vibes. But one fan from PEI told me he was hurt by what Donald Trump has been saying about our country. He was offended by some of the things that people are talking about the 51st state, and he loves hockey. And he came here hoping that his team, his country, Team Canada, would defeat the U.S. just to give him the opportunity that he as a Canadian can say, it stops here with this moment. I want this game, he said, to be a hammer point, to have a pivot point with this conversation. He wanted all the foolishness, his word, not mine. He wanted all the foolishness to stop, and he wanted Canada to beat the Americans, to make a statement so he could quiet some of the noise, at least in his mind. I think it's mission accomplished. And look, it was a lot of fun for the Canadian fans, and I would imagine a lot of the Canadian fans here had that same emotion last night. I will say this. If you're a Canadian hockey fan and you like drama and intensity and high-paced action and post-game celebrations and singing in the streets and wearing your Canada jersey at the same time, you should have been in Boston last night, because this joint was jumping. It was all happening here on this street corner, and a very, very fun moment for our country. And the highlights you showed a second ago say it all. It was a celebratory moment by arguably the best hockey player in the NHL today, Connor McDavid. And it's the story people are talking about today. What a highlight, what a moment, and what a celebration.
Absolutely. Go Team Canada. All right, we'll have to leave it there. Paul, thanks so much for this. That is CTV's Paul Hollingsworth
thank you. Take care.
from Boston. Take care.